On Mountain News this morning, we are learning more about a shooting that killed 3 officers in Pennsylvania. And Governor Beshear was in Floyd County premiering a documentary based on the July 2022 flood that devastated the region.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller. We are inching up on that 5 o'clock hour on this Friday, September 19th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmel for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, same as the whole week, has really been pretty pleasant out there when I'm walking out the door in the morning. Not too bad at all.
However, there is always that but. It's not too bad this morning, but it is going to heat up by a significant amount as we're heading into the later half of your day. So let's kind of break that down. Starting off with this morning, yes, it's a little crisp out there. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. And this afternoon, oh, well, it's a little warm. We're looking mostly the upper 80s and low 90s. In fact, everybody will see the 80s today. Normally, some of our Virginia counties have been holding off in the 70s, but that's not the case for the last day of your work week. Now, in terms of rain chances, though, we're going to still steer clear from any rain today. And in fact, most of the day will be steering clear from even cloud cover as sunny skies take over to finish off the week. So here's a look at that day planner. No surprise here. Sunny skies all day long. High temperatures will be around that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock mark. So it's a wonderful day to go off to the Black Gold Festival if you choose to do so. Just make sure you're wearing that sunscreen. Caroline.
All right, sounds good, Megan. Thank you. We are learning more about a shooting that killed 3 officers in York County, Pennsylvania. The suspect in the shooting has been identified as 24-year-old Matthew James Ruth. The York County District Attorney identified the victims as Mark Baker, Cody Becker, and Isaiah Emsenheiser. 2 other police officers were shot and remain in the hospital. The fallout is growing after ABC decided to pull Jimmy Kimmel Live off air this week. Last night, many of Kimmel's fellow comedians spoke out against the move, which is just the latest shakeup to the late-night talk show landscape. It comes as President Donald Trump has suggested that TV licenses should be pulled from broadcasters who give him bad press. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
But tonight, we are all Jimmy Kimmel.
From late-night peers to legends like David Letterman.
You can't go around firing somebody because you're fearful or trying to suck up to an authoritarian.
A resounding rebuke of ABC's decision to indefinitely suspend Jimmy Kimmel Live after Kimmel's comments about the alleged killer of conservative activist Charlie Kirk in a monologue.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. 2 major TV station groups, Nexstar and Sinclair, quickly announced they'd preempt the show just hours after Trump-appointed FCC Chairman Brendan Carr threatened broadcasters who failed to take action against Kimmel. Nexstar is currently seeking FCC approval for a $6.2 billion merger with another media company, Tegna. Thursday, Carr suggested it's just the beginning.
This is a massive shift that's taking place in the media ecosystem, and I think the consequences are going to continue to flow.
On Air Force One, President Trump more direct about what could happen to broadcasters.
They give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, if they're getting a license, I would think maybe their license should be taken away.
Anna Gomez, the only Democrat-appointed FCC commissioner, called Kimmel's suspension a dangerous new precedent. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The suspension has sparked protests and online calls for boycotts against ABC and its parent company, Disney. The U.S. House has given lawmakers more money for personal security in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's an extension of a pilot program that started in July after 2 Minnesota state lawmakers were shot in June. It gave members $20,000 a month for home security and $5,000 for personal security. The extension doubles the amount for personal security to $10,000 a month, but it expires November 21st. The original pilot program was set to expire at the end of this month before this extension. The CDC's new vaccine advisory panel voted Thursday to change its MMRV vaccine recommendation. instead of a combined shot protecting against measles, mumps, rubella, and varicella, or chickenpox. When a child turns 1, the committee is suggesting parents wait until they turn 4. For kids under 4, the new recommendation, 2 different shots, Ceperotin chickenpox from the MMR vaccine. Kentucky lawmaker Steve Doan is pushing to remove ultra-processed foods from school cafeterias across the Commonwealth. It's all part of the legislature's Make America Healthy Again task force. It would make changes to the food available in cafeterias, vending machines, school stores, and canteens. During a Make America Healthy Again task force meeting, Representative Doan describing that how defining what ultra-processed means is actually more difficult than you'd think.
You know, a lot of people might think you're talking about hot dogs or you're talking about something like that. But in reviewing a lot of medical review journals and looking into how we define that, the easiest way to do that is to define ultra-processed by looking at what chemical additives are put into the food.
He says he is planning on filing legislation when the General Assembly convenes in January. If passed, school districts would have until the 2027-28 school year to implement the requirements. Lawmakers recently discussed ways to improve safety on Kentucky roads. State Representative Candy Massaroni of Bardstown shared a legislative proposal designed to improve roadway visibility. The measure would require highway pavement markings be checked 6 months after a project is completed. If the markings fail to meet state standard, the Transportation Cabinet would be required to restripe the lines. Governor Andy Beshear was in Floyd County premiering a documentary based on the July 2022 flood that devastated the region. The premiere of the film, which is called Rising, was held at the Mountain Arts Center, where Governor Beshear and other Team Kentucky leaders walked the red carpet before heading into the screening. Those involved with the film say it tells the story of the region's fight and faith in the mission to rise from the wreckage left behind that summer. MAC Executive Director Joe Campbell says the facility is honored to play the film in its theater.
I want to show the hard work that everybody was involved with the flood of 2022, and as the governor's office stated, it's almost like a celebration kind of, but you know, not really a celebration, but just to thank everybody that was involved.
The screening of the film was followed up with a roundtable discussion. We'll have more from that event coming up on Mountain News This Morning at 6. The American Red Cross gathered at the MAC yesterday, accepting blood donations in memory of a woman who is remembered as one of Prestonsburg's brightest stars. Allie Davis died in September 2020, but the performer and fighter for social justice is remembered every year as folks roll up their sleeves and donate blood in her memory. Her father, Barry Davis, says it was the largest turnout for pre-registrations since the drive was established back in 2020.
Just signifies everything Allie was about helping people, about stepping up when people need you at the worst times. And we're just very proud everybody showed up again and supports this and supports it in Allie's name.
Davis says blood transfusions saved Allie's life when she was born, so they gave his family the 21 short years with Allie. And he hopes these donations can help another family get more time. The director of Paintsville-Johnson County Emergency Management has died. Gary McClure led emergency management for many years, and we've interviewed him many times. The INS Fire and Rescue was one of the many posting to social media saying, quote, his commitment to public safety and to training others will leave a lasting impact on countless first responders. McClure's visitation will be held this weekend, and his firefighter's funeral will be Monday at 11 at Phelps & Son Funeral Home. Gary McClure was 73. We also now know the funeral arrangements for a Sheriff's Department detective. Mitchell Adkins died earlier this week at the age of 48. He retired as a state trooper in 2018 and went on to work for the Pike County Sheriff's Office. Visitation for Adkins will be from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. today at J.W. Collins Son Funeral Home in Pikeville. Another visitation session will be there from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Saturday. His funeral will be at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News This Morning. Just ahead, advocates say there is a huge need for more foster parents in Kentucky right now.
And much needed rainfall is coming to eastern Kentucky this weekend.